All right, so I think we got everything working now. Whoever's on here, please let me know. But I see audio, I see video. Oh, Martin, that's awesome. So Mel, Dylan, Martin, welcome. Screen is moving, sound is working. That's what I'd like to hear. Yeah, a little bit of an issue. So I had to basically download Firefox Mozilla extension and use that because regular Firefox is not compatible with YouTube live stream. Dr. Ten, welcome, buddy. Hope you had a good holiday. But I think we got everything working perfectly fine now. Let me notify everybody. Dr. Ten, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. All right, so a lot has happened. I haven't done a live stream in a couple days, and I know there was a lot of volatility that happened. And I don't know if you guys caught the nice dip on either Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin. Those are really the ones I was focusing on. But a lot of drops on other currencies and a lot of rising. Steam, who knew Steam was going to go up to 60,000? I bought that at 20,000 and sold it for a little bit of a loss, but moving on me. And then 2, 3 weeks later, that kind of goes parabolic and goes up to 60. So that's a nice profit, but oh well. Yeah, Mel. I don't know if you heard of anything that I said in the past, but I'll kind of start over. I was able to take a long position on Ethereum. I actually put in a lowball offer before I went to bed. I mean, I think the price was right around 87, $88. I put an offer in for 76.22, and then of course early this morning, I got executed. So I have 100 at 77.62, and I am leveraging margin. So I am playing this on margin currently right now. Um, so we'll see what this does. I mean, it was up to 87.69, which would give me $1,000. So it is down a little bit from that. To worry, they're not going to liquidate this. They're going to liquidate it if it gets below 66.47. Um, I will not allow it to get to 66.47 without me cutting a loss. So right now, it's looking pretty good, up $900 for the day. But we'll see if this actually makes a run to that 942. But yeah, Dr. Ten, so it all depends what your entry was on this. But I mean, this has the potential to hit that 98, 98, 99, and then dip back down. I think it's having a hard time crossing over to that $100 range for some apparent reason, and it shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, a couple of days ago, these alts, especially Ethereum, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, I mean, they were moving with Bitcoin. As Bitcoin goes up, they were going up, and I'm sure it was the same with a lot of the altcoins as well too. With Monero and Dash, but that was just kind of unheard of. Usually, when BTC is going up, alts are coming down, and vice versa as well too. So that was kind of weird to kind of see these top cryptocurrencies moving up at the same time as Bitcoin was moving up. And when Bitcoin to 1480, um, they also tanked as well too. Yeah, Bitcoin, I mean, almost 1750. This should hit 1800. I mean, I think I got up to 1770. But I am still holding my Ethereum Classic, and I should have probably sold, cut some of it loose at 680. But I was looking for that 699, $8. to kind of get rid of all of it. So I am down on that, considering the price is currently 717. I am up on a profit wise from the 500 that I bought and sold, and still have 125 that I bought at $4.30. But the 1,071 at $7 is kind of down. But the Ethereum kind of makes up for it today. As long as we can get a run up to 90, I can kind of take my profit and run. And let me know if the audio is doubling up on you guys. And if it isn't, I'll have to tweak some stuff out. But I am very surprised to see some of these cryptocurrencies are, especially on Coinbase and Bitfinex, are pretty much side by side. The price really is not that big of a difference as it was. I mean, 1750 versus 1765 on BTC, and Ethereum and Litecoin have just about been even. There hasn't been much of a difference for to be able to utilize arbitrage. Yeah, Mel. So I don't know what the issue was earlier, where Jonathan could hear me and he could actually see my screen, but then you guys couldn't. But I don't know. Were you guys able to catch some of this dip on Ethereum Classic, or even Litecoin? Dash is making its run back down to 91 bucks. But yeah, so far Ethereum Classic has been the big loser for me. It's still unrealized loss. It hasn't been realized yet because I'm still holding on to it. I haven't sold it. Yeah, Mel, he was able to hear me because he was responding to some of my questions, and I was basically answering his questions that he had about market cap and Ripple. No, that's pretty diversified there. Those are some pretty good coins you picked to get on the dip. Yeah, Steam definitely surprised me. It really has, and I think a lot of that was just the hype. I think everywhere on YouTube they're talking about how they were buying Steam, so that's where the crowd is going to follow. But yeah, for it to go up to 60,000, I mean that's huge. Yeah, I wish I would have kept my Steam that I purchased at 20,000 a while back. And that 20,000 really was just a consolidation phase, anywhere from the 15 to 20,000. and it was consolidating nicely. So a little bit of a pullback on all three coins that I'm currently looking at, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, as well as Litecoin. They all seem to have basically, dipped to that bottom, Ethereum 75.89, Litecoin 22.67, and Ethereum Classic 5.23. And they seem to have dipped right at the same exact time, a little before 6 a.m. Made the right, nice run up, and then now all three of them are just on a nice little pullback. They're not pulling back, on a major decline. There's profit takers that are, locking in their profits. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let me see what questions there are. What my plans are for Ethereum. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I think that might have been on Slack that I wrote you the message. But I'm looking for that 96.22. That would give me $20 per coin. And I thought when it started running to 87.69, that it would have started really making a run up. I need to pay attention to. I need to also take a look at Bitcoin chart because right now I just have too many charts up, but they're all the same thing, just different time frame. Basically, they're Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, and Ethereum. So I currently have up the 1 minute chart, 3 minute chart, 5 minute chart, and 15 minute chart. Yeah, ECS, welcome, bud. No additional pattern baldness, I hope. I hope the same thing too. And when you actually sent me the screenshot of Ethereum Classic, I knew that was a head and shoulder. And I think I responded to your message saying that's a head and shoulder possible downside. I didn't see that it was Ethereum Classic. I was actually just getting ready to go to bed. And then I woke up the next morning, saw that you were mentioning Ethereum Classic, and I was like, oh man, I can't believe I didn't notice the head and shoulder on Ethereum Classic. And what did it do? It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It did the head, had the shoulder, and then it had the dip to 523. So I should have caught that. I should have seen it. But looking at all just different things doesn't really help. But I'll go ahead and show you guys that head and shoulder that ECS sent me a screenshot of. But now, they're not always going to be a downtrend. When it does form the head and shoulder, it could be a fake out downtrend. All right. So yeah, I was trying to get in a better angle of the zoom, but it doesn't look like I will. So I'll go ahead and plot out where the head was and then where the shoulder. Pretty symmetrical. So the shoulder part did exactly what it was supposed to do. It touched 750. So the first circle that I have on the left-hand side was 750, and then it kind of had the nice little high of 780, thinking that I thought it was going to break out to that 7.99 and keep going up, but it completely faked me out. And then here's the other shoulder, which is exactly $7.50. I mean, those are very symmetrical. And then, down here, see if I can draw. Down here would be like the body. Try to make this a little more bold. So the bold line would kind of be the basically the body, and then you got the shoulder, and then you got the head, and then usually, with the head and shoulder, you get the rip down, and that's exactly what it did. So I did not see that. And Jeff, good eyes, man, on picking that out and letting me know. I just wish that kind of happened during the daytime where I was able to see it. But yeah, when you see these type of patterns, expect some sort of a decline. And I did not really expect it to drop that far to $5.23. That was not what I had expected at all. But yeah, it basically dropped to right about where there was a good amount of consolidation. And this is a 1 hour chart. And I can't seem to put a circle where this consolidation is, but I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but that's the level that it dropped to. And considering it's holding that level, it still looks pretty good, pretty bullish. I guess it all depends on Bitcoin, what Bitcoin's going to do. But if this is going to come down further, it definitely has the possibility to come down $4.25, $4.50, somewhere in that range. So it's definitely a possibility that it could come right back down to where I had originally bought the 500 Ethereum Classics, and end up selling 375 of them at a profit. That's a possibility too. But yeah, anybody that bought Ethereum Classic, I'm sorry, yeah, even Ethereum Classic, really anything, Ethereum Classic, Ethereum, Litecoin, at its high, and then they woke up this morning to an alert, indicating that it had dropped below whatever they would have set it to. Yeah, they probably weren't too happy at all. And that's kind of the risk you take, by having an open position and going to bed. Is that and they have been doing it. It's been kind of a pattern where they have their time when they dip, and it seems like at the time where no one's awake, 3:30 to 5:30 possibly, somewhere in that time frame, they've been having very significant drops. It's not even a correction. It's a drop. Right now what Ethereum is doing, it's just a nice little healthy correction, and then now it's moving sideways and consolidating, uh, versus Litecoin, where Litecoin went up to 29.84, came down to 27.07, now up to 28.40. So it's right now, so it's on an uptrend as Ethereum is consolidating. And I'm looking at the 3-minute chart, where I have Ethereum on the right hand side and Litecoin on the left hand side. But yeah, welcome to anybody that's new to this live stream. And if you haven't done so yet, please click on that subscribe button. You'll be notified every time a video is uploaded. Click on that little bell. So that's kind of YouTube's notification to notify you. But also stay connected with us at our other social media sites. There is a link at the bottom of this video in the description. But also check out the website, sign up for our mailing list. Look us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Snapchat. If you're watching this video after the fact that the live stream has been posted, definitely leave a comment. Let me know, what you would like me to cover on the next live stream. If you have any questions at all. But man, it would have been nice to catch Ethereum. I'm sorry, Ethereum Classic at 525-ish or even 550. That would have been a pretty nice gain. All right, let me see if I missed any of these questions. Yeah, if you see an inverted head and shoulder, yes, Logan, that would be bullish. I would definitely be bullish on that. Yeah, I wish there was a way for me to like rotate these charts to kind of show you what that head and shoulder would look like if it was inverted. But that's not also a time to go all in. No, I would never recommend going. Those patterns, I mean, they're not 100%, but the possibility of them doing what it's supposed to do are very probable. But it could be a complete fake out too. Just got to kind of keep that in mind. All right, so my position on Ethereum that I hit this morning at 76 is actually looking pretty good. Should I have taken the $1,000 profit? Yeah, definitely. But I'm still waiting to hold out. And considering they're not charging me commission, um, I probably won't sleep until I actually close out this position. I don't think I'll be going to bed with an open position or margin, or it could dip to that 66, and then they instantly liquidate that account with a $1,000 loss. So I will not be holding this overnight. This is something I'll definitely close out before I go to bed. Dave, welcome. It's great to see a new name on the live stream. What do I think about LTC? I'm holding LTC, and I'm holding a good amount of it, unfortunately. But there is a reason why I'm holding on to it. There's really no reason that this isn't at $10. Now, I said it earlier. I should have taken profit at 780. I still have my position that I bought, or at least 125 left over from the original 500 that I purchased at $4.30, and then I purchased over 1,000 at $7, and then it went up to 780. I should have taken profit, but this definitely has the potential to hit $10. And that's why I'm still holding. But I should have sold and then bought back in a lot cheaper. But still, though, I don't think I'm going to wait till 10. If it gets up to that resistance of 780, 775, that's kind of where I'm looking to cut some part of the position that I have. So I'm looking to get rid of at least 571 at $7.50, because that's really where it had the major dip from. And if it goes up higher, I'll still have some left to kind of sell. But yeah, I do have the remaining 500 from the 1,071 at 9.99, and then the 125 that I bought at 4.30. I have a very high sell price for that, 19.99. I just wanted to kind of put those off to the side and not touch it, knowing that I bought those at $4.30. But I mean, if anything could happen, to be honest with you, I mean, this could easily dip, to that 4.15, $4 level. Um, it could easily do it, especially if Bitcoin's going up and alts are going down. But if there's new money coming in, then it could do exactly what it's done the past couple of days, is follow the path of Bitcoin and go up with it. But right now it seemed to be kind of the complete opposite, where Bitcoin went up and alts dropped. So there was no new money coming in. There was just money flowing from some of the cryptocurrencies to Bitcoin. Dave, that's a very good question. I don't go to bed holding BTC, unless BTC was dirt cheap and I was looking at long term. But I'll go to bed with USD, especially on this margin trade, because I am leveraging margin pretty high, almost three times the amount. So if I'm on margin, I won't be going to bed. And then the crazy thing about margin too, especially on Coinbase, is it doesn't allow you to set a sell limit. You can only close it out, on a market level, market buy, and that's about it, or market sell. So that's a big disadvantage, is that I got to sit here and really eyeball it and hit that market order as it's going up and not as it's coming down and have a big slippage that could have a slippage of $1.50. So then I'm selling at $1.50 loss because it decides to slip um, by that price point. But Ethereum, it's recently I'm looking at the 15-minute candle, and it's not on the screen that I'm sharing with you guys. It's just on a whole different monitor where I have the 15-minute chart on Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, as well as Litecoin. And the 15-minute chart looks actually pretty good, considering the past, it's like hour and 15 minutes have been nothing but red candles. So this is a nice green candle that's forming on the 15-minute chart to possibly have a nice turnaround and kind of break. What did it get to? I think 87.50, 87.69 is what it got to. So as long as this current candle closes, I mean, it's good to have it close green, but it needs to close at least halfway from the current wick before it switches over to the new candle. Yeah, Dave, ECS Fusion had actually notified me of the attack on Poloniex. Um, I do use Poloniex, but I don't use it that often, so I haven't really traded on Poloniex in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, as a trader, you definitely want to have different platforms to be able to use, just in case something like this does happen. And I use about 5 different platforms. Now, I don't trade on them heavily, but I have traded on them. So if something does happen to, let's just say, through two or three of the platforms, at least I know that I can go onto a different platform and be able to trade. They might not be as lucrative trades, but at least I'll have that option to be able to do that and not be stuck on the sideline. But yeah, you're right. I mean, people could actually easily, if they can, be able to log in and transfer the funds, they could transfer them to, Bittrex or really anywhere else, as long as they're not in USDT. But yeah, they could take those, those Bitcoins, Ethereums, and be able to move them anywhere. Yeah, Logan, margin. It's a scary thing. So basically, a lot of exchanges will give you 3 to 1, 4 to 1, whatever it is, really the odds. So let's just say I'm making up some numbers here. Let's say hypothetically, I have $100 and I have 3 to 1 leverage. In actuality, I have $300, 3 times the amount of what cash reserve I currently have. So they're giving me 3 times that amount to be able to trade. Um, Now, the thing about margin though is when you place that trade and let's just say you're on a long position and it decides to dip, if you don't cut your loss, they're going to cut your loss for you. And they're going to cut it at the wrong time, where they'll cut your loss basically at the bottom. So, in the sense of Ethereum, they will liquidate me if I don't do anything. If the price drops to $66.47, I bought at $76.22. So that's $1,000 loss. More likely that 66.47 is the bottom, where it's going to bounce from. So for them to cut me loose at 66.47 is a big hit, and I probably will not let it get to that level. It is dipping, but it's above 80 bucks. But this is weird though. Litecoin is not dipping, whereas Ethereum is dipping. So hopefully, Logan, that kind of makes sense. So I forget what I had, 2,600 bucks, let's just say, in Coinbase. That turned into 7,600 bucks because I'm utilizing leverage right now. I'm utilizing 2.5 times the amount. There's no fees that they're charging me. It's just I can only hold this position. The longest I can hold this position, if I wanted to, 27 days. After 27 days, they would automatically liquidate it. That's to my understanding. But yeah, they'll definitely give you more money to play with. But it's a dangerous game to play because it's not something that you want to hold long term, unless the price is just continuously grinding higher and higher and higher with no corrections. Yeah, Logan. I mean, it's for some people, it's not for others. I mean, you've been with me on this since I started, and I really rarely. I mean, this is I'm going to say the second time that I've used margin. Actually, it might be the first time that I've used margin. To be honest with you, I think I did use margin. I used margin for a short position that I took. So this is the actual second time that I'm using leverage or margin. Martin, it's kind of hard for me to give you trading advice, bud. I'm not a licensed broker. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I can only really take a look at it and say, where's the resistance, where's the support, just kind of help you out in that sense. But I can't tell you, what price point should you sell. It's something you really have to kind of analyze it before you get into a trade and say, what, this is my risk level, this is my profit window. If it gets up to this level, I'm going to take my profits. I'm going to be happy with them. If it gets below this level, I'm going to cut my loss and be happy that I cut my loss. If I tell you to cut your loss at a specific amount and then it ends up, hitting that amount and going higher, I feel bad because I would give you bad advice. If I tell you to take a profit now because you're up pretty good and then it keeps going up higher, you're probably going to hate me. So it's very hard for me to tell you where to take profit. I can tell you based on if I was taking the trade, what my profit window would be, and that would really be at the resistance. Whatever the resistance is for Dash. Let's see, 0.06 times. Let's just say Bitcoin's at 1,800 bucks right now. So you got in at 108 bucks. I'm assuming. Am I correct? I mean, a while back it was easy to kind of do the conversion when Bitcoin was 1,000, but now it's like 1,700, 1,800. It's hard to kind of figure out the USDT value or USD value. And then I'm assuming for your Ethereum Classic, your entry was about $6.80, 6.75, somewhere in that range. Yeah, 108 is too high. I mean, there was no way I was buying it at that price. Um, what is that now? Bitfinex, 92 bucks. $80 range is not bad. Buy it in the 80s and sell it in the hundreds. All right, let's see what this candle does, because this is a big candle with a long wick on Ethereum, and I'm looking at Coinbase. This basically took it from about 84.21 to about 85.77, so $1.50 within one candlestick. I was hoping that she would close, either halfway or above, where it currently closed. Just with a little bit of wick at the top is kind of what I was looking for it to have a really momentum. But yeah, I try to look at just about every. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of looking at something real quick. So every time frame on a candlestick, I try to take a look at, and I know I have them open on other monitors, but just so you guys are able to see, and you guys can probably see this orange dotted line. That's basically my call price that GDAX or Coinbase will call the margin. And that's if it gets to 66.47. Emrit, welcome, buddy. I don't know if you're new to trading or not. Are you new to trading, or you've been doing this for a while? If you're new, what I would recommend is, set up a Coinbase account. There is a link at the bottom of this video where you'll actually earn 10 bucks in Bitcoin. That's really what I would recommend in the beginning. Get familiar, with some of the stuff that Coinbase has to offer. I think it's easier on the eyes to kind of look at, especially with the order book and the trade history. I mean, it's very easy on the eyes. The depth chart is right there as well too. Then once you get familiar with this and kind of see the ins and outs and how this works, then Bitfinex is not bad. Kraken is not bad at all. But just remember, I mean, it's good to have more than one site exchange to trade on. You have the different exchanges, and you're able to utilize arbitrage, where you can, move one coin from one exchange to another exchange and sell it at a higher price. That definitely comes in handy. But I do have Bitfinex. I started out using Coinbase. Um, so I have Coinbase, Bitfinex, Bittrex, Poloniex, Gemini. There was another exchange that I set up, but I kind of forget the name. I'll have to look it up on my bookmark. Yeah, if you're new to crypto trading, I mean, set up a Coinbase account. Use the link at the bottom of this video. Set up a Coinbase. That's probably your best bet of getting familiar with an easy to use platform. Those other platforms can be a little confusing, but once you get the hang of Coinbase or GDAX, you find on the other exchanges. And really, I mean, if I sign up on a new exchange, it takes me maybe about 15 minutes to really figure it out. It doesn't take long at all. But there are things that GDAX lacks compared to other exchanges, and vice versa too. So there's good things about GDAX, bad things, pros and cons, and pros and cons about other exchanges as well too. I mean, I don't think there's a really all-in-one great type of an exchange. Open up, I'll use CryptoWatch as my charting system, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different charts and they're basically the same thing that I'm looking at on GDAX. Because I've seen a difference sometimes where the chart on GDAX doesn't really move. I'm looking at it on CryptoWatch, and it's actually making a move. All right, a lot of selling happening right now. So selling volume has definitely increased. No problem, Emirates. Yeah, like I said, I mean, the more exchanges you have, the better. So you really can't have too much. You just got to remember, what the password is for all of them and be able to log in. But that's a good problem to have. So Ethereum does not look good based on the candles. Hour and 45 minutes of nothing but red. So I mean, eventually it's going to turn green. It's just a matter of how far is it going to go, level that it's going to get to before we decide to see a green candle, especially on the 15-minute chart. But yeah, if anybody's new to this live stream, please click on that subscribe button and don't be shy. Say what's up. I hope I didn't miss any questions. And if I did miss a question, please let me know. Let's take a look at some daily candles and see what are they doing on a daily basis, and volume as well too on a daily basis. So one thing to really keep in mind is when you're looking at the daily candle, you definitely want to see volume continuously increasing. But when you're seeing five large candles in a row, and they're pretty good candles, especially the last three, you know that there has to be a turnaround. It's way too high, way too quick within a matter of 5 days, going from 2201 up to 3230. So that's a $10 gain right there. So you've got to expect some sort of a pullback. So I would not be buying at the top here, 30. I would put in a low ball offer in hopes that it hits. Now, if I had put in a low ball offer for Litecoin, to be honest with you, it probably wouldn't have hit. My low ball offer would have probably been 21 bucks or 21.51. Um, I wouldn't have set it to 22.67 or 22.75, so I would have had no chance of that really being executed. I knew with Ethereum, the price level that I was looking at for it to dip, really these prior candles here. Let's see if I can draw a line through that. So before I go to bed, I'll kind of look at to say, okay, what was it, the past 6 days? What has it done? What was a low in the past 6 days? Um, and I'll put in a low ball offer at that point. So really, I only had enough money to buy 100 at 60. What was it? 76.22. Low had actually reached, when I was looking at these candles, it was 75.89, 75.54. So I figured, what, I might as well just use everything I have, just purchase 100. Figured I would end up to pay, I would need to pay to get 100, and that was a 76.22. But this is crazy because this candle here, the green candle that I'm currently looking at where the circle is, the low of that was 75.89. That was the bottom low of this green candle here. If we look at the current candle that we're currently in for today, the low of that was 75.89 as well too. So touch that 75.89, came right back up. So that's kind of what I was looking at, and that's why I put in the order for 76.22. Now, if I would have set it for 75, yeah, it would have not have been executed, or even 75.01. Dave, uh, I'd have to really take a look at some of the overall coins, but I know ECS, you're on here. I think you're still on here. But Pivx, for it to really come down to 60, that's completely oversold. So Pivx is actually a good long-term hold, I would say, especially if you can pick some up in the 60. We've seen this thing hit 80 and then go right back up to 130, 140, and then come right back down. So Pivx would be a good hold. I like Decree DCR if it comes down, but I think it's currently too high now. If Monero comes down, I wouldn't mind getting into Monero. Mel, margin. Do you need a bond? Are you going to sell me the bond? If you're selling bonds, I'll buy them depending on the rate. Yeah, Martin. I mean, really, with anything you trade, it doesn't matter what it is. It's going to have, it's going to have the support, it's going to have the resistance, and it's going to bounce off of that unless it decides to break the resistance or the support. But yeah, you are going to have rises and fall, price swings. It's going to swing between a certain range for X amount of time, or it either breaks down below the resistance trend, or if it breaks above the support trend and forms a new support from prior resistance. Yeah, you're going to have fluctuation. And as a trader, that's kind of what we look for. We look for this volatility, the up and down swings. If you're a long-term investor, I wouldn't even be watching this. It would probably drive me crazy. Yeah, Emirate, I mean, if you trade stocks, that's kind of how I started trading. Price action, support, resistance, candlestick patterns are all the same, buddy. Really, I mean, if you can read those price actions and be able to, pick out the support and resistance, which is not that hard at all. And then looking at other indicators, looking at the MACD, the RSI, the volume, um, you could form a very good, idea of what it's going to do. And as long as you don't get too greedy and you play within that trend of what it's actually going to do, um, the candlestick is going to do that. It's going to play within that certain trend. You just got to think like a lot of other traders do. I kind of have an idea where traders are going to look to unload their profit and have an idea of where they might buy in. Now, it's not going to be the exact same price point, but, I'll get very close to it. Yeah, ECS, that analysis is definitely working. I've seen it. Um, but it was just weird the last couple of days where BTC was going up and, the alts that I was watching were also following the same path. And I was like, this is kind of unheard of. I've never seen it follow the same path. It's usually the complete opposite. No, Mel, the only thing you need is just cash. You need cash in that account, and you need to activate margin trading, and that's it. I know Bitfinex doesn't offer margin trading for U.S. residents. I tried to activate it, and they were like, "No, you live in the U.S. You cannot have margin." But margin would have been good on Bitfinex for me because that's really where I have majority of my funds. So Mel, if I understand the question right, so you're saying so they cut you short early and take the money. Got it? Well, I mean that's the thing is, the exchange doesn't want to be they don't want to be holding that debt. And if it drops to 66, it's debt that I have that I owe to that exchange, and that exchange wants to make sure that, they're not going to allow it to drop too far where I owe too much money. So there is a set limit that they have and say, you know what, if it gets below this percentage, 20%, 30%, the system's automatically going to liquidate that and cash you out at a loss. And they just happen to do it at the wrong time, at like the bottom is when they tend to kind of cut your trade. Logan, do I regret selling Steam? If I would have sold Steam yesterday, yes, I would regret it. But I sold Steam, I don't know, mid-April, I think it was. And that was just too long of a hold for me. It wasn't moving, to be honest with you, and I needed the funds. But if I didn't need the funds, then I would have probably left it there. Yeah, considering I went up to what? Would it go up to 60,000? So I mean, it should have been. That I mean, I bought it at 20,000, so it would have been a nice gain. But no, I mean, things like that happen all the time, and there's no sense of me kicking myself over it, because then that's just going to cause me to make bad trades. But yeah, I did cut Steam at a loss, and that was I think it was like 18,000 satoshis. I bought it at 20,000, sold it at 18,000. So I took a hit on that, but considering I sold it a long time ago, I'm not really kicking myself over it. All right, we're still on the downtrend on Ethereum, and this is too long of a downtrend. So it's currently off its high by almost $4, a little over $4, and that's its high after it dropped to 75.89. Yeah, $4.30. It's off. So slowly but surely, my profits are decreasing. Unfortunately, I think I was at like a $1,000 profit, now $700 profit, but it's definitely not following the same path as Litecoin either. Considering Litecoin is back up on an uptrend, Ethereum is back down on a downtrend. Yeah, and I wish I was watching Steam to see exactly what was happening with the price action and the orders that were being executed. You know, could have actually brought the price up that high. I mean, they could easily do it. I mean, they just got to go in and buy little fraction amounts of Steam at a higher price. Any high price that's out there, if they were just buying a little fraction of it, it would definitely cause it to go up that high. Yeah, look, I mean, I have funds on Poloniex, but it's nothing compared to what I have on GDAX and Coinbase. And it's the same thing with Bittrex too. I mean, I have just a little bit in Bittrex, no one Bitcoins. Yeah, I think I need to do a better job of like evenly spreading money to some of these exchanges. But then it's just hard to keep track of too many things that are happening all at once. And honestly, I feel more comfortable cashing out to USD instead of cashing out to a different altcoin. Now that USD is going to be worth what that USD is worth when I go to bed or when I cash out. But if I cash out to an altcoin, there's a possibility that altcoin could dip, but there's also a possibility that altcoin could explode and go up higher. But that's just kind of a risk you're taking, and it's a risk I'm not willing to take. I want to preserve this capital that I have. Yeah, and Logan, I can't remember the last time I've actually logged on to Poloniex. I know I pulled it up, but I haven't physically logged on. I usually just kind of do just I view the exchange and that's it. But Ethereum Classic needs a push, and I'm surprised. This thing should have cracked $10 easily. But it got held back pretty big, and then that head and shoulder didn't help it cause it all. All right, so let's see. And Ethereum is turning green like I had expected, considering it was red for a good amount of time. Hour and 45 minutes that it was completely red. So we'll see what this candle is going to do, if it'll close at its high. And I'm probably going to end the stream in about 2 minutes, guys. I do have to go pick up my daughter, but then I should come back. I will do my best to get back on this live stream at 1, and I'll do a live stream from maybe 1 to 2 or 1 to 2:30. Yeah, things are definitely moving sideways now. It's like yeah, it is almost noon, so it's lunch hour. Dave, not a problem, buddy. Thank you for joining, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the comment, and I'm glad you were able to find this helpful. But yeah, if you haven't done so, I think you probably have. But yeah, if you haven't done so, click on that subscribe button and then hit that little bell notification. So it'll inform you if I'm doing a live stream or videos uploaded. Going forward, we should not have the video and audio issue. I think I got that completely fixed by downloading Safari extension. So the extension seems to work a lot better than Chrome. So the issue, I'm assuming earlier when I was trying to do the live stream, where some of you guys were getting the video and not the audio, and vice versa, is it had something to do with Chrome. But Firefox extension seems to work very good. Awesome, Dave. That is awesome, man. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I am going to end this live stream right now, but like I said, I will be back at 1 p.m. Eastern time zone. So that's 1 p.m. my time. I know everybody's from different walks of life, different places. So 1 p.m. Eastern time zone is when I will return. But thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate it. And like I said, we're not going to have this issue at 1 p.m. With the audio. So by then, um, Ethereum could make a move up to the upside. I'm looking for that exit above 90. This is not something I'm going to be holding long term or holding overnight. BTC fear of missing out. Yeah, man, it's crazy at these prices. Yeah, I did not expect BTC to make a full recovery from that drop to 1480. I think it was like from 1650 to 1480, and it's a pretty nice recovery that it did. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. But I am going to end this right now, and then, like I said, I'll be back at 1 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. But thank you so much, guys.